Hello everyone and welcome to what will be another Payday 2 build. This one will be interesting because they had an update recently where they changed skills again. But let's just go into it. So it's going to be, I would say, an assassin build. Long range and melee, so like a sniper and melee weapon. It's not 100% assassin because you're not using the smoke bomb, so people be like, well, it's not 100% assassin. Shut the fuck up. Alright, let's go into this. So, for the perk deck, you're going to go with the Anarchist. This is really good. Just a tough armor perk deck. Okay? Skills. First, obviously, melee. Lots of points in melee. Just one in martial arts, one in bloodthirst. Ace, Pumping Iron, Berserker, Counter-Strike, and Frenzy. Alright, get a little bit of pistol power going on because pistols are your secondary weapon you're going to use. And then in Silent Killer, one in Second Wind, Ace, Optical Illusion, the Professional Low Blow, and one in Unseen Strike. This is getting you critical chance, lots of critical chance with your melee and eventually your sniping, so that's pretty cool. Low concealment on this build, by the way. Try to go for the as low as you can. And then duck and cover, parkour, just a little bit of movement speed. This is good for concealment, ace inner pockets. Nothing in the technician cluster of skill trees. Then a little bit of tank for your anarchist perk deck. So obviously one in resilience, ace out die hard, that gets you the 20 ballistic vest armor bonus, which is good because you're going to be using a lightweight ballistic vest. Shock and awe, ace this out. This is also good with your melee weapon against shields. Bullseye, this is good with your sniper for regenerating armor. And then Iron Man for total armor value is increased by 30%. Don't ace that out as, you're building crits, and if you use the combined tactical vest, you're going to have a detection rate that's pretty high. And then for sharpshooter skill tree, one in here, ace out. I don't know. This one's up to you, really. I like, the zoom level, for longer range. And the sniper's reload speed's pretty shitty, so this one is pretty good for that. And then there's one in combat medic, just because sometimes you might need to revive players, and it's good with Die Hard too. You'll take a lot less damage when you're doing like reviving and interacting with things, which is great with the Anarchy perk. So I kind of breezed through that a little bit. Let's talk about some of these skill combos here. The Berserker skill and the Frenzy skill work perfectly together. You're only going to have 30% of your max health, but you're going to do 250% more melee and saw damage, as well as 100% more damage with ranged weapons permanently. It's a passive, basically. Now, that is an issue, having 30% of your max health. However, with the Anarchist perk deck, you don't have to worry about health. It's an armor build. And when your health does get depleted, or your armor gets depleted, you have 2 seconds of invulnerability to damage, which also works with the Second Wind perk that increases your movement speed for 30% for 5 seconds. So that'll get you to some good cover. So whenever your armor gets depleted, just fucking run the hell away from everything. You've got a good bit of movement speed. What else is there? Now this build is more of a melee core build with sniping. However, if you feel like you want to waver more towards the sniping side, the Fugitive Gunslinger tree skill points are more expandable. You can, sacrifice these, put them into the sniping trees or whatever you want to do. There's another thing you could do. You could unace the Frenzy and put it into Unseen Strike. This will increase your critical duration, to 18 seconds. The reason I didn't have this ace is because taking any damage will cancel the effect. And if you're a melee build, which this is, you're running in and you're more than likely going to take damage. But if you're sniping with this, then behind cover from a long range, you're not going to take as much damage. So that's pretty good if you're sniping. But for the most part, we're going to stick with the Frenzy being aced. Now that that's out of the way, kind of brushed over all of that pretty quick. Armor, lightweight ballistic vest. This is real light. It gets you your minimum detection risk of 3. Anything else is gonna go up on the detection rate, and thus you're not gonna have as much critical chance. It's also a ballistic vest, so it works with that other perk that I forgot what it's called. Now, you're not gonna have any equipment specialities, but that doesn't necessarily, what is the word? It doesn't limit you to just what you that thing that you have skill points in. If you know you got a whole team that's bringing medic bags, and you've got skill points for the medic bags, you know what the hell are you good for? But with this one, you know you could just bring whatever because you don't have skill points in whatever. I kind of explained that badly, but weapons. Your first gun, since it's a sniper and melee build, is going to be a sniper. Now, there are 2 snipers that you can actually get to the minimum detection risk of 3 with. One of them is the contract, the other is the Grom sniper rifle. They're basically the exact same thing, you know, with damage and total ammo. However, I would advise the contractor. This thing has a mag size of 20 as opposed to the Grom's 10. It has a little less accuracy, but it has some stability as well. And so when you go into modifying it, try to get a suppressor on it. Boost, concealment, gadget. I don't know, I like a laser module. It doesn't add to any concealment or subtract. I think concealment is the lower the worse. So grip, straight grip, pretty good with concealment. Don't put a sight on it. Any sight for some fucking reason, even if it's one of these, you know, takes away from concealment for some reason. And then the folding stock is what you would go with last. So that'll get you as little, the most concealment you can as possible. Secondary gun is a pistol. Pistols are really good with concealment. And this one is, I've really liked the German one that I can't pronounce. You can put a suppressor on this. Boost of obviously concealment, maybe a laser module, kind of the same things. This one's real nice. It has a laser grip that doesn't add to concealment but does to accuracy. And then no slide or sight. And there you go. Melee weapon, the thing you're going to be swinging with. El Verdugo, if I'm pronouncing that right. This one is basically the katana and the two-handed great ruler, except it has more concealment, which is what you're going for. If you use the katana, you're going to be at 6 detection risk, but El Verdugo puts you at 3, so you're getting that crit. It does a lot of damage, you know, it's basically the katana, except you have a shorter range, but that's not really a problem, because this is a up-close, tanky kind of melee build. So, yeah, go with El Verdugo. Now let's talk about throwables. I really like the throwing knife. With the explodables, you don't really get them back. In the throwing ones, you can't get back. The throwing knife's pretty good. It does a lot of damage. You get 6 of them as compared to the Javelins 3 and Throwing Axe 3. Shuriken, sure, you get 10, but I feel like it doesn't do as much damage as the throwing knife. So, and you know, so I'd go with the throwing knife, but that's just me. Now, this class is going to be really good against special types of enemies. The cloakers, you can easily counter their kicks. The shields, you can melee their shields if you're in close range and stagger them. If you're at long range and you have a sniper, you can penetrate their shield. It's pretty good. And then there's even the bulldozers. If you're building Bloodthirst and you're counting to 16 to get that 1,600% more damage on your next melee attack, then you could, you know, kill a bulldozer if you're at max stacks in one hit with a melee strike. It's pretty overpowered, and that's awesome, you know, if you're doing it right. The tasers are the ones you're gonna have issues with, just because, you know, they suck. However, you know, if you're using the contractor with the high mag, or even the pistol with the skill boost of 5 extra bullets, then you can fight those tasers pretty well. So there you have it. That's the assassin build. You can melee, you can snipe, you can be pretty tanky, run around pretty fast. You have low concealment, so critical chance. And you can also use this build for sneaky missions too, because your weapons are suppressed, and your concealment's pretty low. So you could, just take it to whatever match. And then the equipables, equipment, that's up to you, whatever. You can fill. You can be the filler guy, basically. You're not restricted. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm fucking tired.